We didn't order for your kids, my mom said, sliding napkins toward them, while my sister's daughters unwrapped their $65 pasta and dessert boxes at the family reunion. Her husband added, "Be grateful they were invited." I just whispered, "Copy that." When the waiter returned, I stood up and said, "My name is Kimberly. I'm 34, the middle child, and the one who gets called when the family group chat is stressed about logistics. I teach ninth grade algebra at a public high school. I like clean white bars, cheap coffee, and predictable schedules. I have two kids, Max, who is 9, and Lily, who is 6. Their other parent and I split 3 years ago. We co-parent like we run a small business. Shared calendar, alternating weekends, receipts saved in a folder named Kids, Real Expenses. In my family, I'm the one who understands numbers, which somehow turned into the one who is always good for it. My older sister, Jen, is the favorite. She has 2 girls, a shiny SUV, and an Instagram where every caption ends with grateful. Her husband, Trevor, sells solutions for some company that pays him in jackets with logos. My mom floats between baking advice and moral lessons, depending on the day. Dad watches sports with the volume low and says, "Don't start." I'm not dramatic. I like things that add up. I like when a pizza has 8 slices and everyone takes 2. I like when a receipt says what it says. That's why I got good at living small. I know the price of milk and the exact time the laundry room is empty. The kids and I make pancakes on Sundays and pretend they're math problems. If Mom flips 3 pancakes per minute, how many pancakes before Lily starts eating the chocolate chips from the bowl? Family reunions used to be at my grandparents' house. Plastic tablecloths, deviled eggs, and an aunt crying in the driveway. This year, Mom booked a restaurant for comfort because Grandpa's knees are bad, and because she wants the kind of pictures where everyone looks like they taste old money. She sent the invite with a PDF agenda. Arrive 5:45, group photo 6:10, dinner 6:30, cake 7:20, smart casual, children welcome. There was a line about family style to prevent over-ordering and a winky emoji. I dress like a teacher who's trying too hard to look like she's not a teacher. Clean shirt, the one belt that isn't peeling. Max wore a dinosaur t-shirt under a sweater because he said the sweater was for tricking people. Lily wanted her sparkly shoes because restaurants like sparkle. We brought crayons and a bag of apple slices. I told them we were meeting the cousins and there would be bread. Bread always sells it. We got there early because I'm allergic to being late. The place had white tablecloths and servers who carried 3 plates per hand like a magic trick. Mom waved us over to the long table like a TV host doing a reveal. "Look at you," she said, kissing the air near my cheek. "Teacher chic." Jen glided in 2 minutes later. Daughters in matching bows. Trevor behind them with the grin of a man who thinks valet parking is a personality. He clapped me on the shoulder. "Professor Kimberly." "Just miss," I said. The waiter did the speech. Family-style starters, entrees curated for variety, kids' boxes with pasta, fruit, dessert, and a craft element. He smiled like he loved his job. I believed him. While he talked, Mom slid a stack of napkins toward my end of the table. She fanned them out like playing cards right in front of Max and Lily. "We didn't order for your kids," she said, soft like it was a favor. "They can nibble from the mains. We don't want to spoil their appetites." "They're not boys," I said. "Quick habit. And one of them is Lily." Mom fluttered her hand. "You know what I mean." Jen leaned in toward her girls. "Guess what?" she whispered loud enough for the table. "Surprise boxes with desserts." The girls squealed. Trevor drummed the table with his fingers like a drumline of approval. The waiter came back with 2 cardboard carriers shaped like little houses. He set them down in front of Jen's kids. "2 kids' packages," he said. "$65 each." He turned his polite face toward me. "Should I bring 2 more?" I opened my mouth. Mom's hand moved before mine. She nudged the napkins closer to Max and Lily like she was dealing a different kind of meal. "No," she told the waiter. "We'll share. We're a sharing care family." Trevor added, without looking at me, "Be grateful they were invited." He said it like a joke. That wasn't a joke. The back of my neck warmed. Max tugged my sleeve. "Are napkins food?" "Not yet," I said. The table got loud in the way families get loud. Stories layered over stories. The waiter floated in and out with plates, salad bowls, baskets of bread. My kids reached carefully, said please, said thank you. drew a maze on the paper kids menu that wasn't meant for them. Jen's girls unwrapped their boxes like presents. Everyone nodded, like this was normal. The first trigger wasn't the napkins. It wasn't even the line about being grateful. It was the moment Mom caught the waiter's eye when he hovered with the black leather check presenter like a bird waiting to land. She tipped her chin at me, the way people gesture at trash cans when they want you to know where to put things. Kimberly will settle, she said, light like she was doing me a kindness. She's our numbers person. The waiter looked at me. I looked at my kids. Something in my chest clicked from later to now. I didn't stand up. Not yet. I just put a flat palm on the table and felt it steady under my hand. I said the quietest thing I've said in years, mostly to myself. Copy that. And when the waiter returned, I was ready to say something I'd avoided for a decade. I didn't become the family wallet on purpose. It happened slowly, like dishes piling in a sink. When you finally notice, it's not one plate, it's all of them. When I was 15, Mom asked if I could float Jen $40 for a formal dress because I was responsible with my allowance and I'd get it back Friday. Friday stretched into, I thought you understood what family means. And I learned that in our house, borrow meant don't ask again. At 17, I started tutoring kids in our neighborhood. $20 an hour, cash. Mom bragged to everyone that Jen was so generous with her time, helping the younger girls with makeup for dances. And I handed Jen my cash when she came home crying because they wouldn't let her hold a tab. I told myself I was the nice one. It's easy to be generous when you're a kid who thinks 20 is forever. By 22, I was student teaching, driving a car that clicked when it turned, and picking up shifts at a bookstore to pay for gas. Jen called me from the mall. I need help, she said. It's an emergency. I pictured a flat tire. It was a designer diaper bag she had to get for a friend's shower. We'll split it, and it'll be from both of us, she said. Funny thing about splitting, I paid at the register and she posted a photo of my sweet find with a caption about adulting. I married young. We were broke in the way you are when your entire kitchen is hand-me-downs and your pantry is 6 different pastas. When Max was born, Mom showed up with groceries and told everyone she was keeping us afloat. The receipt on my counter said otherwise. I'd paid. She'd picked. Jen had her first daughter around then. The whole family moved in orbit around that baby. I didn't resent the baby. I resented the orbit. Included me when there was a bill and excluded me when there was credit. I kept telling myself it would even out. I believed in math. I believed that if I kept track and kept calm, the universe would balance the numbers. Here's a list I once promised I wouldn't write, and then wrote anyway. 10 airport runs in 1 year. You're already up early, Mom said. You're a morning person. 3 last-minute dog sits because we forgot you can't bring dogs to wine country. $250 for a family fundraiser table Jen didn't want to bother other people about. $480 over a summer for camp snacks, when camp turned out to be their backyard, and snacks turned out to be organic pouches with adjectives that sound like personality traits. 90 here, 60 there, 35 because it's tacky to ask a server to split. And I'm very good at calculating tip. The ask got smarter, less obvious, less traceable. Can you just grab it? You're already at the store. You like doing this stuff. I became the person who likes to cover things. The divorce didn't help. It made me a softer target. People see a single mom and assume she's collecting handouts, or that she owes gratitude for being included. I talked less at gatherings. I kept Max and Lily close. I cut coupons from an app and made extra rice and called it Crispy Rice Night, so it sounded like a choice. Numbers still held me up. I could open my bank app and see that I wasn't crazy. I could scroll through charges and name every dollar. Then there was Trevor. He arrived in the family like a seminar about value. He uses words like leverage and asset and cost center. The first time I asked him to watch Max for an hour while I ran to school to fix a projector, the principal swore was life or death. He said yes. The next day he texted me, "No stress either way. Shoot me $40 when you can." I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. He sent a Venmo request with a handshake emoji. The note said, "Time is value." Mom defended him. "He's just organized," she said. "You could learn a thing or two. It takes guts to ask for what you're worth." "It also takes guts to be family without invoices," I said. She sighed like I was the slow student. "You're always so literal." I teach equations. Being literal is my job. When Mom announced the reunion dinner, I watched the words she chose. Adults $70, kids $65. "But let's not get fussy. Family style makes it simpler," she added. "We'll do boxes for the girls because they're picky." Then, almost as an afterthought, "Kimberly, bring crayons for your 2. I asked if I should order boxes for Max and Lily. Let's see how they do with the mains, she wrote. We don't want extra charges. A week before the dinner, Trevor sent me a friendly reminder request for $18.72 labeled apps from last time. Your share. Last time was a barbecue at my parents' place, where the apps were chips and salsa from a bulk store purchased by me. I didn't pay. I also didn't fight. I told myself I'd make the line at the restaurant calmly, like a person reviewing a proof. No yelling, no lecture, no math lesson. Just one simple sentence. Meanwhile, the small humiliations kept their drip. Max asked why his cousins have restaurant boxes sometimes, and he doesn't. We do family style, I said. Is family style when you don't get your own? He asked. Lily asked if napkins are just very flatbread. I laughed because if I didn't laugh, I'd throw. The day of the reunion, I packed the kids' bag like a field medic. Apples, crayons, stickers. The emergency granola bar that tastes like sawdust but saves a meltdown. I dressed us like we were trying to disappear in a nice place. I told myself again, one sentence. You can say one sentence. We walked in. Napkins slid. Be grateful. Boxes unwrapped. The waiter's eyes flicked to me for direction, like I was the sane adult in a play about people pretending money was feelings. And Mom said it. Kimberly will settle. My hands didn't shake. My voice didn't rise. The math finally balanced in my head. Years of small bills against one small boundary. I waited for the waiter to come back and I decided to put the check where it belonged. The room didn't change noise. It changed pressure. You could feel everyone's attention lean without their eyes moving. When the waiter returned with that black folder tucked under his arm, I stood up so he could hear me cleanly. Not dramatic, just enough to not be another whisper at the table. Can you split the bill by who got served? I asked. He blinked, then nodded like a man who had been waiting his whole shift for someone to say a normal sentence. Mom laughed in that bright way people laugh when they need witnesses. Oh, Kimberly, it's one bill. We always do one bill. Aunt Karen chimed in. We trust you. You're the math teacher. Trevor leaned back, arm over the chair like a king in a discount painting. Don't be that woman. Come on. I pointed gently with an open hand toward the kids. 2 kids' boxes were served at that end. Max and Lily weren't served those. We shared the mains. We'll pay for what we ate. Jen's smile thinned. Kimberly, this is tacky. It's accurate, I said. Mom's mouth made a small O, like a fish discovering glass. This family doesn't nickel and dime. This family has been nickel and diming me for a long time, I said. I said each word like a small block you could stack. I'm done with that. The waiter hovered like a careful bird. I can itemize, he said. No problem. Don't you dare, Mom told him. Cheerful poison. We're together. Please do, I told him, by what was actually served. He looked between us, the way a person looks at 2 roads and chooses the one with streetlights. Yes, ma'am, he said, and disappeared. A quiet folded over the table like a perfectly ironed napkin. Jen whispered to Trevor, not that quietly. She's making a scene over pasta. Trevor, still leaning, gave me the smirk he saves for teachable moments. Look, Kimberly, last month we watched your kids so you could run your emergency to school. Did I send a Venmo? Sure, I said. You sent an invoice for watching your nieces and nephew. You also ate my Doritos and took my last Gatorade. A few cousins laughed into their water. Mom tried to pivot. Be grateful you were invited. There it was, the line. I looked at her, then at Max and Lily, who were both coloring a cat that looked like a potato. Stop saying that to me, I said. I am your daughter, not a guest. The waiter returned with 3 black folders, one in front of my parents, one in front of Jen and Trevor, one in front of me. He set them down with the care of a surgeon. I split based on the items I saw delivered, he said. 2 kids' boxes went here. He tapped near Jen's elbow. Everything else is grouped accordingly. I can adjust if needed. Jen opened her folder like it might explode. This is... She stopped. 198 for pasta? Trevor leaned in. Why does it say 65 twice? He squinted like numbers were an offense. Kids' packages, I said. It says so right there. Mom opened hers. 224. She stared at the sheet like it had insulted her. We hardly ate, she said. Dad coughed into his napkin and looked at me like I was an umpire. I opened mine. 39 before tip. 2 sodas, a plate the kids actually ate, and a side of vegetables they ignored. I slid my card in and closed the folder. Mom's voice sharpened. Put that away. No, I said. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm not embarrassed, I said. I'm correcting bad math. Aunt Karen tried to lighten it. It's just dinner, honey. It's not, I said. It's a pattern. Jen's cheeks went bright. You're punishing my kids. My kids were given napkins, I said. They're fine. Trevor leaned forward, elbows on the table, settling into a posture that wanted to be called reasonable. This is petty. This isn't about revenge, I said. Steady. This is about closure. I'm done being the person you assume will pay because I know what 8 times 15% is. The waiter took my card with a small nod, like two people sharing a joke no one else gets. He moved to Jen. She slid her card in with a shaky inhale. Trevor added his with the flourish of someone who thought the flourish counted as money. Mom didn't move. Your father and I, she started. We'll pay for what we ate, I said. Like everyone. She stared at me. I didn't look away. I love my mother. I also love my kids. Loving both at the same time just means saying no to one of them sometimes. When the waiter left, Max whispered, "Did we do something wrong?" "No, buddy," I said. "We're doing something right." No one wanted cake anymore. The group photo slot drifted past us like a mist train. People gathered coats like shields. Cousins kept their eyes on their shoes. Jen said, "Wow," like a prayer that didn't reach heaven. I signed my slip, tipped the waiter like a person who has watched people carry more than plates, and stood. "From now on," I said to the table, "I pay for what I order and who I bring. That's it." Mom opened her mouth, closed it, then looked around for a camera that wasn't there. I helped Max and Lily into their jackets. We walked out into the kind of evening that smells like someone else's dessert. My phone buzzed in my pocket like a trapped bee. I didn't look. The car hadn't left the parking lot before my phone lit up like a slot machine. "Jen, you humiliated me." "Mom, call me." "Trevor, not cool." Aunt Karen, "Sweetheart, I think you overreacted, but we love you." I put the phone face down in the cup holder. "Chocolate or vanilla?" I asked. "Chocolate," both kids said. We got milkshakes at the drive-thru with the big neon ice cream cone. I told the kids we were celebrating surviving the fancy restaurant. They clinked paper cups and declared it an official holiday. At home, after showers and pajamas and one more page twice, I sat on the couch and opened the family group chat. The messages stacked. "Mom, I don't know who you think you are. Mom again. I have done everything for you." Jen, as a mother, I can't believe you'd make dinner about money. Trevor, Venmo request for $22.40 labeled bread plus shared apps. I typed, deleted, typed, deleted. Then I wrote one clear message. New policy for me. No group bills. No, we'll settle later. No babysitting invoices. I'll pay for what I order and who I bring. If it's a real emergency, call me. If it's not, budget. I put the phone down. It buzzed so much it migrated across the table like a little bug. I flipped it to Do Not Disturb and wrote a sticky note in block letters. "You're allowed to opt out." I stuck it to my laptop because, yes, I'm corny, and also because that's how I remember things. Morning. The kids ate cereal with heroic amounts of banana. I checked my email. One from Trevor with the subject line, "Friendly Reminder," attaching an Excel sheet labeled Running Totals. I didn't open it. I archived it. I took the kids to school and daycare, waved at the crossing guard, and felt something in my chest that tasted like the aftertaste of saying the right thing. At 10:12, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. At 10:20, she left a message that sounded like a speech she practiced in her car. "Kimberly," she began, which is how I knew I was in trouble. "I don't know what got into you. You made me look like a fool in front of my own mother. Your sister is devastated. Trevor is hurt. Be the bigger person, apologize, and I will forgive you." I listened to it twice and heard the line in the middle where she said she would forgive me. I didn't think I needed forgiveness for asking to pay my own bill. At lunch, I microwaved leftover chili in the math department lounge and told myself not to check my phone. I checked it. Jen had posted a story of her girls in matching pajamas with the caption, "Protecting their joy." Trevor posted a boomerang of a wallet snapping shut with the text, "Boundaries go both ways." I muted them both. There was a small pleasure in pressing mute. It felt like turning down a radio that's only static. After school, I graded quizzes at my kitchen table. Lily made a fort out of couch cushions. Max asked if decimals are just tiny fractions that got squished. "Yes," I said, and we high-fived. The doorbell rang. Mom stood there holding a tin of cookies like a peace treaty. I didn't invite her in. We talked in the entryway, the giraffe rug tickling my ankles. "Let's reset," she said. "Family movie night Saturday. I'll make lasagna." "No thanks," I said. Her eyes flashed. "Don't be ridiculous." "I'm not," I said. "I'm choosing." She tried the memory card. "Do you remember who paid for your braces? Who drove you to tutoring? You act like we never did anything for you." "You were my parents," I said. "That wasn't a loan." She lowered her voice. "Your sister has a lot on her plate." So do I said. 2 kids, 1 salary. I teach algebra, Mom, not crypto. She lifted the tin. Cookies. Take them to Jen's, I said. She likes being grateful. Her mouth tightened. Be grateful you were invited. Stop saying that, I said. I'm your daughter. She left the cookies on the floor by my door like a package no one wanted to sign for. I left them there until the kids went to bed, then put them in the freezer, because I'm not above eating rage cookies later.